This is Evolutionary Radio. This is your host, Trevor Kouritzin. As always, my co-host, Steve Smee, is joining me.
Good afternoon, fellas. What's up?
What's up, guys?
Joining us today, we got a really good guest. Joining us is Branch Warren. Branch, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So I did a very bonehead thing this weekend. If you listen to our earlier episode, we had Tor Washington on. He's a vegan IFBB pro. And he was in Winnipeg this weekend for Veg Fest. So I said, hey, I'm going to come down. I'm going to hook up with you. I'm going to Instagram live your presentation. So I went to Veg Fest wearing this vest, not even thinking about anything. Because I'm kind of new to this whole vegan thing. I didn't even know veganism was also about like your clothes and like your skincare and like everything like that. So when I get there, everyone's staring at me and giving me this like evil eye. And I'm like, what's going on? Is there like something in my face or anything like that? And then the worst part is that, so then I see Tor and I'm about to go backstage and then Tor's like, no, he's actually with me. So I totally didn't think that one out.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, man. That's new to me too. I didn't know that they extended the veganism into clothes and skincare products and things like that either.
Well, I didn't actually know how bad Canada Goose was. Because after doing that, I went and YouTubed it, and like they basically like, torture the geese and like skin them alive. It was actually pretty disheartening, some of the videos.
Damn, they skin them alive?
So basically what they do is they have these geese in like holding pens, and they'll like rip the geese out of all the feathers, put them back in the pen, and in 2 weeks the feathers regrow, and they do it again.
Damn, bro, I thought they like killed them first and then did it.
That's what I thought. I thought they killed the geese for like meat or something,
yeah,
and then use it. But no, they keep them alive because then they can keep skinning them every 2 weeks.
It's pretty harsh. So I like to hunt, but for all through my career, I always hunted, wild game that was my protein source. That's that's the best source of protein you get. But I ain't gonna skin something alive, man. That's pretty hardcore.
Well, some people skin humans alive. They'll cut their head off alive. So a lot of sick fucks in this world, psychopaths. They'll do anything for a buck,
You got that right. So
You know what I'm saying? So where'd you go hunting at?
Man, I hunt all over the place, man. I hunt big game. I hunt Wyoming, New Mexico, of course, Texas. I've been to Alaska before. So I grew up in West Texas, man, in a small town, and out on a ranch. So there's only two things you can do out there: drink beer and hunt.
What kind of things you hunt out there? Pigs?
Deer, wild boar.
Okay.
Love to hunt elk and mule deer, those kind of things. So
yeah, nothing better.
like I said, that's when I was coming up in my career. That's what I used to diet on: was bison, elk, venison, and that's the best hormone-free, best protein you can get.
So are you a big proponent to getting your own food either through hunting or hormone-free or stuff like that versus buying the Walmart brand meats, stuff like that? You think it makes a difference?
I think it's healthier, hands down. If you know anything about the meat, most meat is got a lot of hormones in it, it's processed, these kind of things, so it's definitely healthier. To go back to what you just said about the geese. If you've ever been to a slaughterhouse, they don't treat the animals too good. I've been to a slaughterhouse before, so hunting is a much more humane way to put an animal down than usually how they're put down in slaughterhouses, whether it's a chicken or a cow or whatever it is. But, I get it. Not everybody hunts. If you grew up in the city, so I think it all goes back to how you grew up. I was raised in a very rural, on a ranch, and that's just a way of life out there. So, if you grew up in the city, you're probably not exposed to that, and you don't understand it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with taking an animal as long as you eat it and don't waste it.
Yeah, I'm a fisherman, and it really pisses me off when people waste fish. They'll catch the fish and just throw it on the rocks or something.
Yeah, there's no point in that. So
yeah, that's
the thing.
That's insulting. That insults me as a fisherman because I take the fish. If I don't eat it, I throw it back. If I keep it, it goes in my cooler. Boom, done. Either keep it or throw it back. Have some respect for nature. So
absolutely.
So so tell us a little bit about yourself, Branch. Where did you grow up? Is it just West Texas, or did you kind of move around a little bit?
I grew up in West Texas. I was born in Tyler, Texas, and then when I was very young, I moved to West Texas, and I grew up with my grandfather's ranch out there. It was a cattle ranch. So I think our closest neighbor was almost 8 miles away, and a very small school. The two best looking girls in my school were my cousins. So, when I was in high school, we moved to the Fort Worth area, and I came from a I came from a school that we barely had enough guys to have a football team. You know, Texas football is king. You know, everybody plays football. So we barely had enough guys to have a team. So when I moved to Fort Worth, you know, it was a much larger school, and you had to make the team. So that's how I got into working out. So that summer, I knew I needed to work out, put on some muscle if I was going to have a chance of making the team. I met this kid in the neighborhood, and I couldn't afford a membership, you know, didn't have any money. So this kid had a membership at this local neighborhood gym, and he'd open up the back door, let me slip in, and I trained. And during that summer, I met a bodybuilder. I never met a bodybuilder before, and this guy was huge, 280 pounds, national level competitor. And I was pretty impressed. I didn't know a guy could get that big and strong. So I trained all summer, made the football team. But as soon as the season was over, I came back and started training again in that gym. And he came up to me one day and he said, "Hey, kid," he goes, "why don't you show up tomorrow and I'll show you how to train right." He goes, "You don't know what you're doing because, you know, we're 15-year-old kids. We don't know what we're doing. We're just in there lifting weights. No real guidance, not doing stuff right." And I was like, "All right." So my friend goes, "Man, you going to do it?" I go, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, that dude's going to kill you, bro." And I said, "Whatever, man." I said, "I'm going to get big and buff and get all the chicks, and I'm going to kick your ass. And you're still going to be a skinny little kid." And I came back the next day. He trained me on legs, and I think I threw up 3 times. This dude annihilated me. And I finished the workout, came back the next day. It was kind of the same thing. He trained me for about 2 weeks straight, and then he just write my programs up for me, give them to me, and I do them. So I think I gained like 20 pounds that year, just half-ass eating and training. And then fast forward to the next summer after that, he asked me about you ever think about doing a bodybuilding show? And I've never been to a show. The only bodybuilder I've ever seen was this guy. And he says, "What do you think about doing a show?" I said, "Man, I don't know anything about it." He said, "Why don't you come to the show this weekend so you can see what the junior division looks like and see if you want to do it." So we went. I looked at it, and I was like, you know, I could do this. So he says, "I'm going to take you to a real gym on Monday." I go, "Where are we at right now?" He goes, "Man, this ain't a real gym." So he picked me up Monday morning. We drove across town. We pulled up in front of this warehouse. Doors are open. You could hear the music in the parking lot. There's chicks in bikinis squatting in the parking lot. And the biggest dudes I've ever seen in my life all walking around inside the gym. He introduced me to a guy named Brian Dobson. And he said, "Hey, Brian, this is the kid I've been telling you about." I told him I wanted to compete, do the show at the end of the summer. And I said, "I don't have enough money to buy a membership, but I'll clean the gym up, take the trash out, whatever, to trade out with you." And he said, "See what you look like." So I took my shirt off, hit a couple shots. And he said, "I'll tell you what, kid." He said, "If you train all summer in my gym and represent my gym and you win, you don't got to buy a membership. Because if you lose, you're going to work it off." All right, fair enough. So 27 years later, I still haven't bought a membership. So that was the original Metroflex gym. It was Brian Dobson who discovered and trained Ronnie Coleman, as well as myself and many other people along the way. And I'm still training there, the original Metroflex.
That's an awesome story, Branch. We had lots of listener questions. The one question I have for you is, you're known as being one of the hardest training guys. And I mean, just telling that story, you know, like the first instinct, this kid who doesn't have any money is, "Hey, I want to do this. I don't have any money. Can I clean the gym?" You know, like most kids, the first thing they would do is go to their parents and say, "Hey, I want a gym membership." Where do you think that work ethic came from?
And growing up on that ranch, you know, I don't know, anybody that's ever grown up on a farm or a ranch knows it's hard ass work, man. And you never run out of stuff to do. And that's just the way I grew up, man. I didn't know no difference, you know. I mean, from a very young age, I had chores to do. You know, I had to work. You know, we had to take care of horses, shovel stalls, you know, bale hay, mend fence. You know, it was always something you had to do. And you know, it sucks, but I didn't know any different, man. That's just how I thought everybody grew up. You know, you live out in a country like that, you don't know any different. And so that's the way I came up. And I learned early on that nobody gives you nothing for free. You know, anything you want in life, you got to work your ass off for. So, you know, I'm not going to go to a man that I don't even know and say, "Hey, can I work out at your gym for free?" You know, that's disrespectful. So I didn't have any money, but I'm like, I'll be willing to, you know, work something out with him so I can train here. So he gave me, you know, Brian gave me an opportunity, and so my whole life changed.
So it kind of rolls us into our first user question. This is from E from our forum. He says that Branch works as hard today as he did when he was competing. He doesn't seem to have ever taken a break. Why is that? Does he ever have a desire to compete again? So this is kind of like a 2 or 3 part question. He's saying that you work out as hard as you did when you were competing. Is that true? It says he has never even taken a break. Is that true? And the third one is, does he have a desire to compete again? It's kind of a 3-part question.
I love to work out. I think I bodybuilded because I love to work out. I think some people, it's the opposite. They love to bodybuild more than they love to work out. So, training, I love to train. Do I work out as hard as I did when I was training? No. I think really, when I knew I was going to be getting ready for the Arnold Classic or the Mr. Olympia, that was a lot. That's what motivated me to go take it to that next level. I still train. I don't train near as heavy as I did when I was competing. It's just at this point in my life, the risk outweighed the benefits. When I was young, still competing, I took it. I was balls to the wall every day in the gym, bro. As hard and heavy as I could go. And I still train, but not, like I said, I scaled it back. At this point in my career, I don't want to have injuries. But I have fun in the gym, man. Me and Johnny still train together. We get in there and bang it out. We actually laugh and cut up more than we ever have. So, there was many, many workouts me and Johnny would train. We would never even speak to each other. We walk in the gym and we just trained, and we never said hi, bye, fuck you, anything. We just trained, and it was cool, because we were both so focused on getting our workout in and getting ready for whatever competition we were training for. But it's a little more relaxed atmosphere, but we still get after it. As far as do I have any future plans on competing, probably not. At this point, I'm 43 years old. I won every show in the world except for the Olympia, and I got close to winning that. So, man, at this point, I just can't really see myself, getting back on stage and competing again, especially with all the other things, business interests and things I have going on in my life now.
How did you and Johnny link up?
So this is a pretty good story. So it was back in 2001. Johnny, we trained at the same gym, and we'd see each other in there, and we competed against each other several times as amateurs. And Johnny, he beat me every time as an amateur. I never beat him as an amateur. So we had a lot of rivalry there between us, and we were cool, but we were just we were both trying to turn pro. And he was a light heavyweight. I was a heavyweight, and we'd be in the gym training, almost on the same schedule. So I'd be doing legs, he'd be doing legs. So if I'm squatting, he'd be squatting at the rack over next to me. We wouldn't talk to each other while we're training, but I know he'd count my reps, because if I did 10 reps, he'd do 12 with the same weight. So I'm counting his reps. So I'm like, man, screw that. So I go put my weight on the bar, do 10 more reps. And so I look at him, he tried to do 11. And so this is the way it was all the time. And this went on for quite a while. So we had a mutual friend who came up to us, and he goes, why don't you two idiots train together? And I go, man, is he doing the nationals? He goes, yeah, he is. He goes, there's nobody else in the gym who could hang with you, or same with him. He goes, you two would be good for each other. I'm like, all right. So I guess he said something to Johnny. And we came in the gym the next day. I said, hey, man, you want to train together for the nationals? He said, let's do it. And that was 18 years ago. We both trained together for the nationals, and he won the light heavyweights. I won the heavyweights. We got our pro card, and he beat me in the overall. And that's the last time he beat me. So,
are you guys still good buddies?
Very good buddies, man. So I see Johnny almost every day. During the week we still train together, and of course we work the same. We were both sponsored by Muscle Tech. We were both sponsored by Gas, and there for a while we were both within muscular development. Muscular development was big, so we had basically the same sponsors through most of our career till the end. So we traveled the world together, and had a blast doing it, man. So we started off as workout partners, and he became one of my very best friends, closest friends. So great guy.
So I'm curious, Branch, on that topic, do you have like a network of friends that you travel and work out with, or you usually like to stick homebound and work out at your local gym? Are you still in the Fort Worth, Dallas area right now?
Yeah, I live north of Fort Worth. And
so do you still go to the same gym, or do you like to travel and try different gyms?
Well, I've been at Metroflex since I was 17 years old.
Okay.
So I'm 43 now, so do the math. Long time. So, sometimes on the week, a lot of weekends I travel. I've traveled a lot during my career, and I still do. So on the weekends, I'm usually somewhere in the world at a different gym. But for the most part, we train at Metro. Here, the past few months, Johnny opened up his own gym, so we usually go there 1 or 2 days a week here lately. But Metroflex is still the home base.
And when can your fans see you working out there? Is there a particular time you like to hit the gym there, or?
Usually in the morning time, 10:30. right in there. That's about the time Ronnie gets in there. Ronnie still comes in, and Ronnie's the ultimate warrior, bro. I mean, he's you know the condition he's in physically, but this is the most positive dude I've ever met, and he still comes in and still in there fighting every day.
So, how is Ronnie doing? I mean, you don't really get the whole story on social media, but it seems like he's kind of falling apart.
Yeah, I think he just had his 10th surgery. You know, I know he had some back problems at the end of his career, and then I think that was fixed, and he had a hip replacement, double hip replacement, and I don't know. I think the surgeon maybe botched up the surgery or something, and they haven't been able to get it fixed. So he keeps going back in and trying to get it corrected. So
yeah, he had like 3 or 4 hip replacement surgeries, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that has to be at least some ignorance on the doctor's part.
That is, I'm pretty certain that's it was the surgeon botched it up, and you know everybody wants to say, oh, it's because Ronnie trained the way he trained. Well, no, his family has history of hip replacements. There's been several people in his immediate family that have all had hip replacements, some of which have never worked out a day in their life. So I think it's a hereditary thing he has, and you know I'm sure squatting and training as heavy as he did for 30 years maybe accelerated that process. But you know, he asked him about 3 years ago. I went to dinner with him and asked him. I said, "Do you have any regrets?" And he said, "None." He said, "I had the time of my life being Mr. Olympia." And he said, "If I had it all to do over again, I'd do it the exact same way." He said his only regret was, he goes, in that video when he's squatting 800 pounds, he said, "I had 3 or 4 more reps in me. I wish I'd have done them." And I was like, yeah, because we'd all seen him do that in the gym, you know. I mean, some of those lifts you see on the videos, you know, everybody's like, wow. And I'm like, we seen the dude do more than that just in the gym training. So I believe he had those reps in him.
Branch, talk to us about the current state of bodybuilding. Like, you grew up in the golden days, you know, with Ronnie Coleman. There's no Instagram filters. There's none of that. You know, flash forward, magazines are dead. You know, it's all about the Instagram celebrities. You know, you have guys who aren't even competing with 1 million followers making, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars. What are your thoughts on the sport?
You know, we hit it, my generation. We hit it perfect as far as, you know, bodybuilders. As far as I think that was the golden age for bodybuilding, because, you know, the sport was doing this, and it was a perfect time to be an athlete. And so many companies were, you know, killing it. The magazines were king. There were so many opportunities for us, and you know, I got to live my dream. I got to live truly as a professional bodybuilder for, you know, 15 years or whatever it was. And I had a blast doing it. Traveled the world, went to 40 countries, every state. And now it's a different game, man. You know, back then, if you could make it to the top, you were going to have a good life. And making it to the top was very hard. There weren't too many spots available. But if you could get into one of those spots, then, you know, you're going to have a good life. And I had a blast. The guys now, it's a different game, man. You got some of these, I call them Insta-famous, Insta-heroes out there that are making good money. They're making more money than some of the top 5 Mr. Olympians are. And, you know, I call them the Kim Kardashians of the world, man. They have 0 accomplishments. You know, they have no titles, no skills. All they know how to do is make a video or a selfie, you know, and they know how to get just the right angle on the camera to look incredible. And then when you see them in person, you're like, what happened to them? They don't look as good on there. They don't look like they do online usually. So it's just the world we live in today. There's probably a little more opportunities out there than there was. It's just, it requires a different skill set. You know, just being a champion and one of the top bodybuilders in the world doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be, you know, financially rewarded or be successful anymore. You know, the magazines were, like the Olympia this weekend, I was there, and I see some of these lines of these people, and I'm like, these crowds around them, and I'm like, who is this? And I had to like look them up on my phone to figure out who they were, and there's some Mr. Famous person that has, you know, like hundreds of people in line to meet them. And I'm like, they have no accomplishments. You know, then you look over and you're looking at the top 3 or 4 guys in the world. You know, this guy's got line is 4 times longer than this champion over here. So it's a different ballgame out there today. And for better or for worse, it's just different.
What do you think is causing it? Like, what do you think caused the magazines to die? Because I remember, and I still have some old magazines, you know, where you were actually in. You know, they had those like old Muscle Tech 6 or 7 page ad reports, and there was actually some really good info in them. What do you think caused the magazines to die?
Social media, because they can hire somebody that has million and a half, 2 million followers for a fraction of what they could advertise in the magazines for, you know. And the problem with that is a lot of these Instagram people, yeah, they've got a big following, but it's the difference between having a community and having, you know, followers. You know, a community, somebody has 50,000 followers, might actually translate if a company hires them. If it's a community, then those people actually go and support the product that celebrity, Instagram celebrities endorsing. Whereas, you know, a lot of these people just have followers. They follow them because they do crazy stuff in the gym, or the chick is super hot or whatever. But if they're representing a brand, that's not necessarily going to convert into sales. But and I think, you know, but the companies, I think some of the companies are starting to realize that, but even still, they look at it, I think it's just money. You know, why would we spend hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of dollars advertising, as some of the companies did back in the day, like Muscle Tech? They had a multi-million-dollar advertising budget every year. Now they can go and spend a few hundred thousand and reach potentially many millions more people, some of these celebrities. So it killed the magazines, unfortunately. And with the invention of the smartphone, everybody is online and goes digital. Nobody goes and buys a magazine. I think this younger generation that's coming up, they're not even going to know what magazines are when they get older. So it's sad, because I think that's what's lacking in the sport. The magazines created heroes. They created, you know, people created personalities, and they created heroes. And every sport needs heroes, whether it's baseball or basketball or football or hockey, whatever it is. And you know, some of the best bodybuilders aren't necessarily great on social media, whereas some of these people that have no accomplishments, they're great on social media. And so that's where you see the disparity in the following and the money. So in the magazines kind of leveled everything, you know, because it didn't matter if you could write or you could speak well. You know, if you were great, you were a champion, and magazines want to cover you and, you know, help you build up your following and build your brand up. And with the magazine's gone, it's kind of lacking.
Was that what made you start your supplement company? You wanted to make a company, you know, strictly for bodybuilders?
Absolutely. I wanted to get back to the sport, especially when I was a young bodybuilder up and coming. You know, buying supplements isn't cheap. And I remember buying supplements, and they were crap, some of them. You got them, and, like, they didn't do what they're supposed to do. You know, and then some of them, you know, you got, and you stuck with them because they were quality. And so coming up as a young man, I got very frustrated sometimes because I didn't have a lot of money. And if I went and bought, you know, supplement X over here, you're supposed to do this and this, it didn't, you know, that's pissed me off. So I want to provide a quality supplement, you know, for these young athletes that are aspiring to be bodybuilders, so they could take and get results.
Tell us a bit about your supplement company. Where can you purchase these supplements?
We're not in North America yet. It's primarily, we're based in South America, in Europe and Middle East. It's a Black Skull USA. You can go to the website. You can get it online. If you go to Black Skull USA, and we've got pre-workouts, BCAAs, isolate protein, whey protein, mass gainer. Got a full line of fat burners. Got a full line of hardcore bodybuilding supplements on there.
That's a pretty interesting business move to start in South America before going to North America. What was your reasoning for that?
The North American market is really saturated. I mean, you've got, I think my last count, there's like 800 or 900 supplement companies in North America. And so they're all fighting over the same piece of the pie. And when you think about a hardcore bodybuilding supplement, how big of a percentage of the population are you looking at? It's not very big. You know, I'm going to say less than probably 4%. Probably it's actually going to be marketing towards. So, and you've got almost 1,000 players cutting up that 4%. So it's a lot tougher game than it used to be. Even the big companies like the BSNs and the Muscle Techs and some of these companies, you know, they're still the biggest players, but their piece of the pie has gotten smaller. So, you know, I looked at a place like South America, like Brazil, for instance. You know, bodybuilding is hugely popular. It's gaining in popularity every year. It gets more and more popular. The shows are bigger. You look at the number of athletes in the organizations is increasing. And it reminds me of the States back in like the 80s, early 90s. And so, you know, a market like that you can go into and be very successful.
Have you traveled to India? Because everyone's rumoring that India is going to be the next Mecca.
India?
Yeah.
Yes, I have been there. They have a lot of potential, man. Over 1 billion people there. I think the only thing holding them back is, you know, once they need the knowledge and they need the economics, you know, financial power to, you know, you've got a lot of people that have a lot of potential. It is economically, a lot of them don't have the ability to do it yet. So it's an emerging country, and I think you skip forward 20, 30 years, and you're going to start seeing some good athletes coming out there. Same thing with Brazil. You're already seeing some great athletes. Some of the Mr. and Miss Olympia winners are already from Brazil. You know, there's been several great athletes, men and women, come out of Brazil. And I think you're going to continue to see a lot more South American athletes make it to the top of the sport.
I think Brazil is known for having the most beautiful women.
Yes. I can't argue that point.
Steve, you want to jump in?
What's that?
I was talking to Steve.
Well, speaking of India, we do have a member from India, and he's a big fan of you, Branch. He wants to know your intensity during your workout. So we talked a little bit about marketing. Apparently he's been watching your workout videos and he thinks you work out very intensely. And is that something that you kind of bring from inside you? He wants to kind of know what's the secret to doing that, and if it's really necessary to really excel at bodybuilding.
I believe the key to training is high intensity. You know, people overthink it. Let me break it down to you, make it real simple. All bodybuilding is forcing as much blood into the muscle you're working as humanly possible. And you work that muscle until it fails. You rest, and then you repeat. That's all it is. Rest, proper supplementation, proper nutrition, get plenty of sleep, wake up, go do it again. And that's what it is. And the more intense you are, the more harder you can train, the more blood you're going to get into that muscle, the more reps you can do before the muscle fails. And, then you go beyond failure with forced reps and things like that, drop sets, and to tear it down even further. That's all it is. High intensity is, I think, the key to it. There's you can debate all kinds of different, high reps, low reps, whatever, but the intensity is the most important thing, because you can take 100 pounds and you can do 100 pounds, make it pretty easy, or you can make it really hard depending on your intensity. And that's the key to it. And what my motivation, it's real simple. I wanted to win. I never wanted to lose a competition because somebody outworked me. If I went to a competition and lost, it was not going to be because this other person wanted it more than me and trained harder than me. I was not going to let anybody outwork me. And if I lost, it's for some other reason. So.
One question I have for you, Branch, is that when you think about hard training bodybuilders, you and Dorian Yates are the two names that come to my mind. And I've watched Dorian Yates' DV. I've watched some of your DVDs. Have you experienced any injuries training that hard?
I've never, up until just recently, I've never been hurt in the gym. I've had multiple injuries, but it's always doing something outside the gym. I tore my quad off the bone in 2011, 30 days from Mr. Olympia, which that was the worst one by far. Excuse me. I slipped and fell, and off of a curb. It was raining. I was walking out of a building, and my foot slipped off the curb, and my other foot caught the curb, and it just that concentric force just ripped it right off the bone. And I was 30 days out from Olympia. I just won the Arnold Classic. Just gotten third and second at the Mr. Olympia. I was one of the favorites that year. And my quad rolled up, and I'm laying there in the rain going, damn, is it over? And because at that point, no one had ever really come back successful from a torn quad. And I had surgery. I was on a Saturday. I had surgery on a Monday morning. And that Wednesday, I was sitting at home in a recliner with my foot and leg all casted up and bandaged up, and I'm sitting there, and of course, I'm looking on the forums and stuff, and everybody's singing my funeral, that I'm done. Nice knowing you, see you. You'll never come back. And I just started getting pissed. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let anybody or anything dictate when I'm done. I'm going to decide when I'm done, and nothing and nobody's going to tell me when I'm done. And I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm going to do the Arnold in 6 months. And the doctor's telling me I won't even be able to train hard until for about 6 months, and a year probably before I can even think about, getting back on stage, if then. And remember, my nutrition is just so black and white. It's either you're in or you're out, you're 100% or you're zero. She goes, well, you better start eating. And I remember she went cook me a big plate of chicken and rice and put it in my lap, and I started eating. And so the following Monday, I was back in the gym. I walked in the gym on crutches, and Johnny looked at me. He goes, man, what the hell are you doing, bro? I go, I'm getting ready for the Arnold. He just laughed. He goes, come on, let's go. And I remember we trained chest that day. And it was it was a devastating injury because you can't walk. You got to learn how to walk first. Then you getting full range of motion is the first thing, and then you got to learn how to walk again. And you still ain't lifting weights at this point. And then you start lifting weights, and I remember the first day back when I actually, not physical therapy, but first day in the gym, I had one 45-pound plate on one side of the leg press, and I could barely do 10 reps. My whole leg is just quivering and shaking. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. And so I just, I didn't get discouraged. I just got pissed. And I'm like, man, this ain't gonna beat me. I'm gonna do this. And, every day was just agony. But this is Brian Dobson to train me. I said, hey, man, I need help on this one. And he said, all right, this is how we're gonna do it. This is how we're gonna train. And I said, all right, let's go. Thank God I left it in his hands, because if I would have done it myself, I would have had a different approach to the training than what we ended up doing. And I just put it in his hands and left it in God's hands, and we trained. And it was about a month before the Arnold that year in 2012 that I remember I posed in the gym, and I looked at myself and I was like, I can do this. I knew I was going to be able to compete, but about 4 weeks out, I was like, I can do this and I can win again. And went to the show 4 weeks later and defended my title. And that was sometimes the worst things that happen in life turn out to be the blessings, because after that show, I proved a lot to myself, and I learned that no matter what happens, man, if you're willing to pay the price and work hard, you can overcome anything. And through hard work, dedication, and my faith, I overcame a potentially career-ending injury and got back on top. And I've had torn both triceps, outside the gym doing different things. And then just recently, I just had surgery about 2 weeks ago on my shoulder. I had a torn rotator cuff. I did it a couple years ago, not bad. Didn't really inhibit my training too much. So, I was like, yeah, I can live with it. I didn't really want to have surgery unless I had to. But over the past couple of years, it just got worse and worse, and started nagging at me more and more. So I was like, yeah, I better get this fixed before it turns into something real serious. So I had it scoped here a couple weeks ago and recovering from that now.
So those of who don't know Branch are fans listening. Like he was saying, he got second at the 2009 Mr. Olympia, third at the 2010 Mr. Olympia, then came back in the Arnold Classic in 2011 and 2012 and won it. So he definitely came back strong. Branch, I'm curious to hear your thoughts about the current, the last Mr. Olympia. What's the analysis on that? Because a lot of the guys we've had on have been wrong. Do you agree with the results? And do you think that it was a shock, or what's your analysis?
Was it a shock? Absolutely. I don't think very few people, if anybody, had Sean, pegged to win the show. That being said, Sean came back in his best condition he's ever stepped on stage with. And he was the best man on stage that night. I was there. I'm friends with Phil. I'll break it down to you like this. Back double bicep rear lat spread, Phil won. Phil had the best back shots on the stage. From the front, Sean won every pose. He won the front double bicep, overhead abs, front lat spread. He won the side tricep. I'll probably give side chest to Phil because Phil's thicker and fuller up top than Sean is. Sean's got his chest is a little light. His triceps are a little bit light, especially compared to Phil. But, Phil's waist was not good. His abs. He had the hernia last year, and I know he had surgery to fix it, but his abs midsection was not good. Still, was distended a little bit. And he had a little problem holding it in, and Sean was in better conditioning. So all that taken in, and Sean had great presentation, had a great routine that night. So it was close. It wasn't a grand slam by any means, but he was a deserving winner, and congratulations to him.
So before I let Trevor jump in, I have a question for you. Sean's not a young spring chicken anymore. Do you think from now he can defend this title, or do you think that this is a one and done type of thing?
Man, I'm not going to say anybody can't do anything. I mean, if I'd have told you on Thursday last week that Sean Roden was going to win, most people would be like, whatever. So who says nobody thought he was going to win, and he did. So who says he can't come back next year and do it again? But who says somebody else might not step up? Who says one of these guys that didn't even make top 10 this year and going to step up and win? Ronnie went from, I think, 12th place or something to winning that year. He won. So, is it possible? Yeah, absolutely. He's possible. Time isn't on his side. I know he's in his 40s. And, to be the top of the world in your 40s is something just remarkable in itself. If he can stay there for a year or two, then beyond this, then that's even more remarkable. But, we'll have to – I think it's great for the sport. Next year is going to be, especially if Phil decides to come back, you're going to have a battle up there. And, one of these other guys, there's plenty of guys that can win. Sean he had the best physique on stage Saturday night. He deserved to win, and he did. That being said, Sean has he's beatable. You know, he's got some flaws. You know, up top, he's a little bottom heavy. You know, his upper body could be a little thicker. He could have a little more fullness in his upper body. You know, especially in the chest and in the tricep area. His has high lats. He doesn't have those nice low lats like Phil Heath does. So you know, he's got a little vulnerability there from the rear, those back shots. So you know, somebody brings it. You know, like Big Ramy. Big Ramy could get hard. It's lights out for everybody. You know, he's just, you know, Ramy just can't seem to get that conditioning down. And, you know, I think William Bonac, I'm very impressed with. He wasn't quite as good at the Olympia as he was at the Arnold, but I think that's another one to look out for. And, you know, Rulli, Big Rulli, he was by far in the best shape of his life. You know, got third, surprised a lot of people. So, you know, he comes in even better than that. He's got all the mass in the world to win.
It's hard to believe Sean's only 2 months different than you. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Months different in age. So that's pretty amazing. That's I think it's good for the sport. I think it's good for bodybuilding that this happened, because it just shows that it's not about being, you know, young in your 20s or even 30s. It's like the older guys like us. We got the brains, and that makes a difference. The experience.
You can still do it, man. You can still do it. You know, I used to think 40 was ancient. You know, now I'm 43, and I don't feel any different than I did when I was 25, really. And, you know, so I think it's just a lot of it's up here.
Men's physique and classic physique. Did you even watch those divisions?
I didn't get to see the classic. I was actually at the booth, and I didn't get a chance to watch the prejudging or the finals. I saw a little bit of the men's physique, but, you know, I think the big shocker was, you know, Jeremy didn't win, and fell quite a ways. But I didn't get to see the whole prejudging, and I didn't see any of the finals.
What are your thoughts on those divisions?
I think the winner of the classic physique, he was deserving, man. He looked great. Guy's got a beautiful physique, and I wasn't really surprised that he won. You know, I was a little surprised at the men's physique division. You know, especially, but that division I think the men's physique, of all the men's divisions, I think the men's physique division is the one that's the most wide open. I don't think it's going to be very hard for anybody to come in and just dominate, like say the way Phil Heath did for 7 years, you know, or Ronnie Coleman or something. I think it's very competitive, and it's going to be very hard for somebody to just come in and just be a multiple year after year after year winner. So, but I think in classic, I think that could happen.
The problem with men's physique is like bikini, right? It's so subjective. Because looks play a role. Because like you ask me, what do I like in a woman? I might say, oh, I like a brunette. You ask Steve, you might like redheads. You might like blondes, right? So the brunette, that might be the flavor of the month that year. Whereas the next year it might be blondes, it might be redheads. So I agree with you.
Yeah. And so I think with the classic, you know, it's still classic, it's still bodybuilding. So yeah, it's possible for, you know, somebody to get up there and just dominate for a long period of time. I think that's very possible. In men's physique, it's just not going to, it's just so competitive because it's that gray area. You know, you can't be too big, you can't be too small, you can't be too hard or too soft. And it's like you said, it goes down to looks, you know. So it's kind of the flavor of the week.
Which booth were you at the Olympia?
At the Black Skull booth.
Okay. And then you also started a beef jerky company. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so myself and my partner, Scott James was the founder of BSN. We partnered up to do it. We've been wanting to do something together for years and work together. And he lives not too far from where I do. So we got together and started talking. And he said, hey, what do you think about doing a beef jerky company? I'm like, beef jerky? I'm like, I don't know anything about beef jerky. Other than I like it. You know, I know my dad used to make it when I was growing up. And I started thinking about it. And I said, well, you know, with sports supplements or bodybuilding supplements, it's such a small percentage of the population that you're marketing towards. I go with beef jerky. Unless you're a vegan, everybody loves it. So I dove into it head first, and I started learning about how different recipes and different meats and these kind of things. And we put it together, and we have it, Wicked Cuts. So we've got 7 different flavors right now. We got 2 more flavors coming out. We've got beef, turkey, and bacon. Bacon jerky is incredible. It's the least healthy of the bunch. And we get the maple bacon, man, is great, but if you're trying to get on a diet, stay away from it. But the original peppered and barbecue mesquite and the turkey jerky is really healthy, very good for you. You can work that into your plan, even a keto plan. It's relatively low in sodium and carbs, so it tastes really great. It's not just saying that because it's my stuff. So you guys, I'll send you some samples. You'll try it out.
Where can our listeners buy that?
Wicked, you go to wickedcuts.co and you can get all of our flavors on there. We ship directly to your house. We got some new stuff coming out. We have some beef sticks coming out. We're really excited about, and we're going to have really some innovative stuff. Believe it or not, if you can imagine that with jerky, we're going to be debuting here in the next couple months.
Are you guys in any of the big retailers like 7-Eleven or anything like that yet?
No, right now we're just mostly doing a direct to consumer. I think here in the here shortly we are selling to a few wholesalers or a few retailers, but not that's right now our focus is direct to consumer. So if you're interested in it and you're a wholesaler, come talk to us. But our focus is mostly direct to consumer.
And that's Wicked Cuts with an S?
Yeah, Wicked Cuts. You can see it with a Z.
Oh, Wicked Cuts with a Z.co. I'll put that in the show notes.
Okay.
That seems really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. It's something different, and I'm having fun with it, because it's I'm in the office every day, and here we got the warehouse and everything, and it's having a lot of fun with it. So it's a different role, being an owner of a company and having fun.
You're doing a lot. You're also promoting shows. Tell us a little bit about that.
We've got four sports expos. We have Houston. Houston's a big show. We've got probably around 10,000 people that attended it this year. We got the NPC show, all the different divisions, bodybuilding, fitness, bikini, physique. And we have a jiu-jitsu tournament. We have a CrossFit tournament. We have a powerlifting tournament. We have a strongman tournament. We have an arm wrestling tournament. I'm missing something here. We have pole fitness before. We have wrestling. So it's an all-day event. I think we've got 10 different events all together with our expo. We had over 100 booths, set up, and fun day for the kids. We have midget wrestling on top of everything else, which was a kind of an event for the kids, man, which is hugely popular. We have them back every year. So always have some great fitness celebrities that show up. And great, the NPC show is really strong. Every year we usually have somebody turn pro after our show. It goes on to the Nationals of USA and turns pro. So it's a really fun weekend in Houston every year. Then I have a show in Minneapolis. It's the same thing as Houston, just not quite as big. It's only had it for 3 years now. Actually 2 years. Next year will be the third year. And it tripled in size from the first year, so it's on its way. Then actually September 22nd, this weekend, me and my partner Mel Chansey are having a show in Chicago. Same type of thing. We got a CrossFit, we have a powerlifting competition, and we have an NPC show. So first year show for that. So if you're in the Chicago area this weekend, it's at Tinley Park. Come by and check it out. And it's called the League of Champions. And then the last show of the year, October 27th in Dallas, is my Texas Legends show. It's me and my wife and my partner Brian Dobson promote that, and it's just like Houston. So a big event, all the multiple events, and it's a fun day. We're going to have right before Halloween, so we're going to have a pumpkin smashing contest and a Halloween contest too, in addition to everything else. So man, bring the kids out, and we're going to give away little cash prizes for the Halloween costume contest, and of course then the pumpkin smashing. You don't want to miss that.
When is the Minneapolis show?
It's June 9th. This year was, so it's I want to say June 8th for next year. It's the same weekend. I think it's just a day. June 8th.
I'm in Winnipeg, so it's not that far.
Yeah, come down and try it out. Check it out. So
now, is these pro shows, or can anyone enter?
No, anyone can enter. They're amateur shows, so no pro divisions.
Okay, cool. That's definitely really interesting. What got you into promoting shows?
Man, I started my Houston show 13 years ago. Brian kind of approached me about it, with Metroflex, and he said, "Hey, what do you think about having your own show?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'd love to. I've been thinking about it anyway." And so we looked into. I think Dallas had like 11 shows, Dallas-Fort Worth area. So at the time, Houston only had like 1 or 2, and Houston's the 3rd or 4th largest city in the country. And I think Houston has the highest number of competitors of anywhere in the country. So that was a no-brainer. We went down, rented the place out, had it, and I think the first year we had like 79 competitors and about 20 or 30 in the powerlifting. And I was pretty pumped about that. So fast forward 13 years, I think we had about 450 in the NPC, and we had over 2,000 athletes combined in all the different divisions. And huge crowd. So it's grown quite a bit.
That's a big show to manage. Holy smokes.
It's like herding cats.
So what can we expect out of you, Branch? You're not going to compete anymore, apparently, or is that a possibility? And what can we expect out of you in the next 5 years? Any other businesses that you want to kind of get into? Where do you see yourself accomplishing?
Right now, my major focus is Wicked Cuts. And, of course, my nutrition, the Black Skull, nutrition. I do a lot of traveling for those guys, promoting the brand overseas. And, right now, Wicked Cuts I'm at the office every day working on that and expanding ourselves and working on the media and getting the word out. Of course, I've got all the shows, and I always attend all the major events, for the Arnold and the Olympias, and I attend a lot of the amateur Olympias and Arnolds also. So I'm still very much involved in the sport. As far as competing, I just at the moment I would say no. If I've just got so much other stuff going on, I'm so much busier than I ever was when I was competing, with all these different things going on. So at the moment, I can't see me getting back on stage.
What about Trish? Is she still competing?
She hasn't competed. She competed last year. She hasn't like actually retired, I don't think, but she doesn't have any plans to step on stage either. We have a daughter, and she's in school, and she helps out with the shows and the work and everything. So right now, there's no plans for either one of us getting back on the stage.
How old is your daughter, Branch?
6 years old.
6 years old.
Yeah, she's 6. She's in first grade. She's in gymnastics, soccer, and she's best thing that ever happened to me.
Fast forward 10 years. I can't wait to see the look on the guy's face when she brings him home.
Man, I don't even want to talk about that. I don't even want to think about it. So right now, if I could keep her at this age right now, I would. So I wouldn't change anything about her. So.
I mean, coming home to a girl's dad who's a pro bodybuilder, but that's one thing. But then they Google your name, and there's all these like videos of you hunting and like killing stuff. Like, I'd be absolutely terrified.
Yeah, I took her to school her first day of school in kindergarten, and I took her to walk her to class or something, and I just wanted to let all them little whippersnappers know who her daddy was. Leave my little girl alone, So, yeah, she's a good girl, man. We're very blessed, man. She's makes really good grades. She's really talented, good little athlete, and so we're very blessed.
You sound like a softie, Branch. Everybody, all your fans on our forum, and even the people we've interviewed, think that you're this like crazy meathead guy who just throws weights around. And I guess that's your reputation, but interviewing you seem like a softie at heart. What am I missing here? Am I wrong? Or
oh man, it's I don't know if you saw Generation Iron. I think they kind of touched on that, but when you walk into the gym, man, it's you gotta take care of business. You got that switch you flip on, and you switch on the kick-ass mode and you do what you got to do. But you come home, you don't bring that home. So to the family and everything. So, and I think having a daughter is definitely different than having a son. My daughter falls and skins her knee, and I pick her up, and hold her, and tell her it's gonna be all right. If I had a son, I'd probably slap him in the head, tell him to quit crying and suck it up, But so maybe a little double standard there. But yeah, having a girl, I think having a daughter does soften you up some, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Absolutely. Are you planning on having any more, or just the one?
Yeah, I would love to have another one. So if we do, that would be a huge blessing.
Absolutely. Branch, we really appreciate you coming on the show. Do you have any special thank yous, any shout outs you want to do?
I just want to say, hey, go to wickedcuts.co, try it out. Man, I guarantee you'll love the jerky. It's the best stuff out there on the market. And if you're in Chicago next weekend, September 22nd, about Tinley Park Convention Center, League of Champions, man. It'll be a fun day event. It's an all-day event because of the multiple events and expos. Starts at doors open to the public 8 a.m. Closes at 5 and then reopens at 6:30 for the night show. So come on and check it out and say hello. And you can always keep up with me if you follow me on Instagram, TheBranch1 on Instagram and on Facebook. So check out where I'm at, what I'm doing, the latest, greatest, crazy stuff I'm out and about doing.
For all of our listeners, I'll have all of those links in the show notes so you guys can check those out. I'm super curious about your beef jerky. Are you shipping internationally or is it just US?
Shipping internationally, man. I'll send you some. I'll get you some sent out today.
Okay, cool. Because we do have some international. So you might have some people in Australia trying to order it.
In Australia?
Yeah.
We talked to a guy this weekend at the Olympia about that. So I think he's got several stores all throughout Australia. So he's very interested in it. So if we can get it worked out with Australian customs, because it's a meat product, then we're gonna get some sit down there.
What is the weirdest place you have sent a supplement or beef jerky to?
The weirdest place. Man, I've sent a lot of supplements and beef jerky to like Afghanistan. The guys over there. A lot of American Marines, and some Canadians, and some other, I think some French guys over there. Let's see, I want to say Antarctica, man. It was probably
Antarctica.
Antarctica. There was like I guess a research station or something down there, and I got a message, and I'm like, where? And they were asking if we could send them something, and I'm like, dude, if you're in Antarctica, man, I'm just gonna send it to you for free. So, man, we sent it to them. So it was I don't know how long it took to get there, but I know they got it because a couple months later I got a message saying thank you so much, blah blah blah. So that was pretty cool.
You probably get the beef jerky. It's like frozen solid.
Well, I sent them some supplements too, man, and I'm surprised it wasn't petrified by the time it got there.
For our listeners, definitely give Branch give his social media following. Check out his beef jerky company. It's always nice to see someone in the sport being a businessman, pursuing other endeavors. So I'm really happy for you, Branch. I hope your business endeavors do well. For your host, Trevor Kouritzin, for my co-host, Steve Smee, and for our special guest, Branch Warren, to another episode of Evolutionary Radio. Live your life. Look good doing it. Thanks for listening.